Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Before I jump into this, I want to thank everyone for the well wishes. As you can see, I am doing great. I am feeling wonderful. Little bit of stuffiness left that you might be able to hear in my voice, but other than that, I'm doing good. So thank you guys so much for caring about me and wishing me well and being so kind. So on to the update. This is about Gracyn Courtright. Courtright is a 23-year-old woman. She actually may be 24 by this point, I'm not sure, but she's from Virginia. You guys will probably remember her. She was the college senior who took part in the January 6th Capitol attack. That same day, Courtright posted on Instagram saying, quote, "Can't wait to tell my grandkids I was here." She was also seen in photos and surveillance video holding a sign. You might remember that. It said members only, and Courtright apparently boosted it from somewhere inside the building, and she was carrying it around, and then an officer finally saw her and took it away from her. But what made her most well known was her responses to someone who called her out on Instagram. So I don't know if this was a friend or if this was someone who lived in her area. Someone messaged her through Instagram and told her that she embarrassed everyone with what she did at the Capitol. Courtright replied and said, quote, "It's history. I don't care." And then she wrote, quote, "I thought it was cool." Then Courtright's contact, whoever this person was, told her that what she did was treason. And Courtright said, quote, "I don't know what treason is." I mean, she's a senior in college at this point, and she doesn't know what treason is. That's probably more so or equally a testament to our horrible education system than maybe, how it reflects on Courtright herself. But believe it or not, that wasn't the comment that news outlets quoted. Courtright's most widely circulated Instagram comment was, quote, "Infamy is just as good as fame. Either way, I end up more known."
Infamous is when you're more than famous. This man, El Guapo, is not just famous, he's infamous.
Yes. Infamous. She's infamous, you guys. And that is a very sad reflection on our society and what people value most. Not being good, not being giving and generous, not doing the right thing, not having principles and morals. No, just fame at any cost. So as with so many others who were at the Capitol, Courtright did not vote in the 2020 presidential election. But unfortunately for her, she did get her wish in regard to the infamy. Shortly after her photo began circulating, she was kicked out of school. So that was the first thing. Then she was arrested. She was arrested on January 19th, and she was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and theft of government property. So Courtright accepted a plea deal back in August. However, unlike the majority of the other nonviolent offenders, she pleaded guilty to the charge of knowingly entering a restricted building or grounds. That misdemeanor carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in prison rather than the 6-month fine that we've become accustomed to. And it also carries a fine of up to $100,000. So prosecutors were asking for 6 months in prison for her, and Courtright was sentenced in mid-December. And apparently she sobbed in the court. She told the district court judge, Christopher Cooper, quote, "If I could take back anything in my life, it would be my actions on January 6th. I will never be the same girl again. This has changed me completely." Her attorney, however, seemed to kind of piss off Judge Cooper. Courtright's lawyer tried to argue that she didn't know what she was doing because she's not a political activist. And then the attorney tried to use the fact that she didn't vote in the election as some sort of excuse, which really makes no sense. So Cooper snapped back at the attorney and Courtright. He directed it at both of them. And he said, quote, "This is your choice, obviously. But in my view, if any citizen wants to participate in our democracy, casting a vote is the price of admission. Because when you do that, you have to study the issues and the candidates, learn what their policies are, figure out how those policies are affecting your community." The judge went on to admonish Courtright by telling her that taking part in democracy isn't like going to a University of Kentucky game. And he said, quote, "Rooting for a team just because the color of their jerseys, it's certainly not resorting to violence when your team doesn't win the game." So, ooh, Judge Cooper bringing the heat. Love it. Anyway, he also asked Courtright, "Do you know how many people died on January 6th? 5, including Miss Babbitt. 5. Then Judge Cooper asked her, "Do you know how many Capitol police officers committed suicide after January 6th, harmed from the trauma of that day? 4. So was it cool to have been there?" I mean, he kept giving her the answers. I would have liked to heard her answer and see if she actually does know this. She did answer no to the question of, was it cool for you to be there? And in the end, Judge Cooper sentenced her to 30 days in jail, 1 year of supervised probation, 60 hours of community service, and a $500 restitution fee. He also ordered her to complete some sort of mental health program. And he told her that he hopes that she can get her life back on track and that she, quote, "should not be judged by the worst mistake you have made in your life." I agree with that. Considering her age too, and her obvious naive nature, I think this makes sense. I really hope she was being sincere. I hope that this situation scared her enough that she either completely stays away from politics and protests, or she starts to pay attention and she starts to realize what's actually going on. And she realizes that she was played, because clearly we had a lot of people there who aren't paying attention, who don't know what they're talking about, who are getting their political information and daily news off of social media. And they made life-changing decisions based on that nothing, based on hearsay and speculation and conspiracy theories. It's terrifying. and it should be a wake-up call to them. So I hope it is. I hope this girl pulls it together. You know, she doesn't seem like she's a horrible person. She has no history of any kind of crime. It just seems like she was doing some stupid stuff. So anyway, guys, I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.